Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best, you can forget the rest. The greatest show on the internet, the Midwest Days of Thunder. MDOT is a progression-style league. Start off your career in ARCA and work your way all the way up to the Cup Series. MDOT proudly features professional broadcasts, dedicated race control, and admins for each series.
I'm dropping the hammer.
No, you're not.
Are you ready to drop the hammer? MDOT offers some of the best competition iRacing has to offer.
I've got a question. What is the one thing you absolutely need to do to win a race?
That's pretty damn obvious.
You keep quiet. You need to finish the race.
Recently added, the MDOT Dirt Series. Come sling dirt with some of the best.
There's the slider. Like up City for the Kiwi down in turn two.
For more information and to sign up, visit us on Facebook at Midwest Days of Thunder.
And hello and welcome everybody to another wonderful night full of action-packed racing here with the Midwest Days of Thunder Xfinity season. We got 2 races for the price of 1 in your general admission ticket here tonight, as we have the Duels at Daytona. So we're going to be setting the grids for the inside and outside line here in 2 separate races. Going on here in just a few moments. We're going to start it off with duel number 1. I'm Alan Brown, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good, man. Finally ready to kick this season off. We did have the Clash last week, more or less kind of an exhibition just to kind of get to know everybody and get some new drivers in there, mixing it up. But tonight kind of matters. As you mentioned, the first race is going to set the inside line. The second race is going to set the outside line for Daytona next week. So, getting some boxes checked, ready to get our first points race underway next week.
Yeah, that we are, as we head on down to Mr. Adam Turner on pit road there, man. Hope that cooler's extra stock full, because we're going to have a lot of racing going on here tonight.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I only have a couple here because we're going to have an intermission in between races. That's something we don't normally see. That'll be fun, but I will be plenty stocked by the end of the night, trust me. 25 laps, 0 fast repairs. There's going to be 2 green-white checker attempts if needed, and they're normally needed at Daytona. So this is going to be fun, kind of a precursor to the big one next week. And everybody loves Daytona, I think. I love it.
Just don't say the big one too loud, because...
Oh, it's going to happen. We know that. Maybe we'll see some fights and, carry over to next week. So that's something to look at, too. That's going to be something fun to watch. And it's teams. There's a lot of teams in this league. There's rivalries within teams versus teams, driver versus driver. This is kind of like the real deal in Midwest Days of Thunder. So, looking forward to it.
That's a good segue.
That is, as we take a look here at tonight's race info, racing under the lights here at Daytona. So, track temp and all these weather conditions really not going to come into factor here tonight. But that is going to bring us to that key of the race that you've already been hitting that there, Mr. Turner, a little bit. And that is, you need to make friends and not enemies. Racing drivers, man, they do not forget, and they will carry something on through an entire season. So you do not want to be making an enemy here at a dual race, even before you get into that regular season.
Yeah, we might see a little bit of maybe Kenseth smashing Logano in the corner type action later on this season if if we don't get a good civil start. So it looks like a lot of these guys are returning Xfinity guys. A few of them up from ARCA that they're pretty familiar with each other. At least this first group, most of them are. So we'll see how it goes.
If we could see Logano hit the wall all the time, I'd be happy. That's not my favorite, but I get what you're getting at. You guys could run up front, best friends, one lap. Next lap, you could be just enemies for life. That's how Daytona is. That's just the way it goes. And this will carry over throughout the season. Some of this hatred and anger that will happen, and I'm so looking forward to it right now.
As we are currently underway here with qualifying, just over a minute left, and then we start to grid these guys up and head on out and get some racing going on here. But I think we're in for a pretty quick 25 laps here tonight, maybe with some carnage towards the end, especially knowing these guys do not have any fast repairs.
That's right, no fast repairs, and the way the cautions are set up, they are iRacing thrown cautions. So even if it's a one-car wreck and there's somebody coming up the track and the sideways cars in the racing lane, iRacing is going to throw a yellow. So that's kind of one of the cool things about admin thrown cautions is you can kind of negate some of that. But this league wanted to be consistent. They wanted to keep the same rules every week. So that also it kind of alleviates any finger pointing or anything, just in case people will say, hey, how come you threw a caution for me but not or for him and not for me, and that kind of thing. So getting iRacing to do all the cautions is probably the best move.
Yeah, I personally like the iRacing cautions because you can't blame somebody who's up in the admin booth didn't see something. You can't blame them, and there's really no pressure. It's all up to iRacing. They're the ones that built this thing, so it's on them. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
And the admins have their hands full, checking for black flags, and guys getting spun down into the pit road and stuff, like clearing those kind of things. They don't want to have to deal with, looking at this giant track trying to catch a caution on the other side. Valid points all around there, Turner.
I agree. We agree to agree for once. So.
Yeah, don't get used to that. I mean, it's a long season.
Yeah, we got a lot to argue about. I can't really wait to get into it and make fun of each other and call each other names. Maybe even get banned again or suspended. It's happened to me before.
Reprimanded and.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably not tonight, though. Nah. This show is for the kids. PG-13.
So we kind of let everybody all get settled in here. Qualifying just finishing up. It was kind of a open qual this entire practice time here. So people got some practice in the draft there, and really not expecting too many issues. And I wouldn't be worried if you're one of those guys in the back, because you got time here to draft on up to the front. But with our guys now taking to that grid, let's go ahead and do the grid rundown here for duel number 1. That's going to start us off there with the 81 of Davey Hendricks, going to be sitting on pole for this first duel. On that outside in second will be the 35 of Ethan Flanagan. The 60 of Alan Kewins will be starting here third, with Matthew Spires in the 37 being able to grid up in fourth. Gary Sack is going to be starting here in fifth, with the 113 of Eric Warman starting in sixth. In seventh, we have Tim Harmon with Alan Dixon in that 31 starting in eighth. In ninth, you got the 1 of Jason Ricketts, and running out the top 10 for this first duel, it's going to be that 6 of Tony Fry.
The number 2 of Blake Bingham will be starting in 11th. Kevin Biggs will be starting to his outside in the 18 machine. Rob Nickel will be starting in 13th place in the 8 car. And Wade Brooks rounds out your field for the first duel here in the 54 car.
It took guys a minute, but we're about 2/3 of the way there with the people that we were expecting to see to show up, and so we should be in store for 25 good solid laps here, especially knowing who's in this field. We got a lot of old names in this one, a lot of guys we've seen race here in the Xfinity series a lot last season. Obviously, Davey being one of those guys where you can always look towards him for a win. We saw that 31 of Alan Dixon, man. He was absolutely on fire towards the end of that season. Just not quite able to pick up a win. Same thing with Ethan Flanagan. He made his way into those playoffs. Alan Kewins, he's no stranger to these Xfinity cars. Same thing with Gary Sack there. So we got a lot of experienced guys that have driven this car for quite a while.
And speaking of experience, look towards back there. Kevin Biggs in the 18 machine did not put in a qualifying time. But he's one of the strongest competitors from last season. So we'll see if he can make a few spots up quick here.
I don't think it matters here. Any clown can win this race. I've seen you win one of these. So basically,
that was at Dega,
jump to same thing. Jump to champ, champ to champ. I would personally prefer kind of being in the back, hanging tight, and kind of let itself play out. You only have 25 laps, but you can move up quick here with that draft. And if you got the right teammate, you can go from the rear to the front in no time.
Yeah, I'm with you there on starting in the back. I don't even know if I would have gridded a car for the duels. I just would have took a provisional and started in the back, I think. Looks like our pace car getting ready here.
That it is, as Kevin Biggs, Rob Nickel, and Wade Brooks, I think, are all going to be starting from the pits. But here we go, up at the front, green flags waving. Davey Hendricks and Ethan Flanagan going to start this one off side by side, running down into turn number 1. Duel number 1 is now underway, setting up this inside line for the grid at the official start of the season next week back here at Daytona.
Yeah, look at them side by side, getting going. And I think, what do you think? Your preferred line early is probably low?
I love running low here just because it's not a super wide track. It's easy to drift up, especially if you're one of the cars behind the leader here and you get that air taken off your nose. If you're not used to it, if you're not been running in a pack in a few weeks, it might take you by surprise. You may slide up the racetrack a little bit. The 89 doing a little bit of that right now.
As we see some people maybe picking and choosing a little bit here, and man, Ethan Flanagan not getting any help on that outside line. Oh, here comes that 89. He's bobbing and weaving, making some moves, trying to get up here towards that front, as we are now just over 1 lap officially in the books. We're going to keep this party rolling as they enter down through this backstretch. And man, that top line really not forming up yet, but they still have quite a few laps to go before really any worries of trying to getting a good finishing position comes into play.
Joe Archer on YouTube saying, let's get it on. Banksy the iRacer, thanks for joining us as well. Looks like Isaac Wilson's telling us that Kevin Biggs should be in duel number 2. That's probably why he's down there.
Yeah, I think Rob Nickel as well. Hey, these guys don't know how to follow directions. What a surprise, They just want to drive the car and turn left and go real fast. They don't care about all the rules.
Yeah, I want to go fast.
You want to go fast? We'll get you in the next duel, maybe.
Race reporter. Ghost car.
Yeah, might as well. Be fun.
As we finally start to see that top line form up, and man, they've pushed that 89 all the way up to the front. He was clear for just a second if he wanted to pop down, but he's decided to stay out on that outside and maybe help Ethan, who's pushed him all the way up here, who's now got some help there from Alan Dixon, and looks like that 6 of Tony Fry. So he's definitely not planning on making any enemies here tonight, that Mr. Sack.
Yeah, going to try to stay up there as long as he can. Now, it's early in the race. Later on, you think he'll wait for the 57? Maybe not. He may be ducking and diving. Whoa, the 60 almost got up into Gary.
Yeah. Let's all be friends now. Ooh, this is fun, you guys. Let's
Rewind.
Wait till later.
Gary's sacking the sucker hole there right in the middle.
Yeah, I think
No help.
absolutely none whatsoever. But that's also going to slow those guys that are, kind of split up and went to that far outside lane. So they're going to try to regroup here. Oh no, is it the 89 of a sack kind of blinks a little bit there, but starts to stable out, and his car is now solid once again. You also have that 60 of Special K Alan Kewen sitting right there behind Davey Hendricks. Kewen's not necessarily the fastest guy out there week in and week out on those mile and a halves, but man, he is a very consistent driver. I mean, we even talked about it at the end of the Cup Series clash last week. He was the only one out there with 0X.
That's right. He's a careful driver. Every week we see that Buffalo Trace Ford Mustang out there. He's out there just trying to race conservative and race, consistent. He shows up and he finishes races. So sometimes that's all you really need to do for a plate track.
I don't think Gary Sack got the memo. The front isn't exactly where you want to be. Not at this this point. That's a dangerous, scary place, especially with only 6 laps in.
Oh man, look at the run that those two are getting, the 81 and the 89, man. You got Davey Hendricks all over that back bumper of Gary, and when I mean all over it, I mean you cannot put a piece of paper in between those two cars, and they've been like that for almost an entire lap now, so that means Davey is putting that bumper to the bumper in front of him for basically the entire lap, now just finally breaking apart. But you can see what kind of run they got. That spread out the field a ton and even broke up that top line.
Let's see what kind of lap time we get for Hendricks here. Probably going to be a quick one.
Yeah. Oh, him and Sack had the very...
Kewen's kind of took advantage of that draft there.
Matthew Spires had a pretty quick lap. Man, that was a really fast lap, but... if you have anybody behind you, the most professional guy out there most likely is Davey Hendricks. That's probably the guy you want. Oh, he's falling back.
And he's dumping out.
Yeah, he
doesn't like what he sees up front.
No.
It could also be temperatures, too, because, I mean, he was all over that bumper. And so he's might be trying to monitor those temps just a little bit here, but that's also going to leave some room because that inside line maybe lost a little bit of momentum with him doing that. So that outside line with Flanagan, Dixon, and Fry, who's still trying to kind of catch back up to the back bumper of Dixon there, it's going to allow them to sneak their way up towards the front here again as well.
I hit rewind and went back and looked at his gauges. I'm not sure that was the issue, but...
Well, he didn't like it either way, did he?
Yeah.
He'll be fine back there. He's sitting in 10th. He could be first place in no time. I wouldn't worry about it. Some cool paint schemes out there. Look at the 73 of Harmon there. Looks like an old throwback.
Yeah, old Wrangler.
Dale.
Kind of.
Yeah, but it's a little modified deal.
Two Machine got an old Bill Elliott throwback paint.
And that's the other thing to look for here in these duels is. If you have any teammates here, and for those angry idiots of Biggs, Harmon, and Kewens, I mean, you got 3 cars all right there, and as of right now, you got Kewens and Harmon all connected.
Not anymore.
Oh, excuse me. Biggs isn't in this one. That's right. So he's going to be in the next one. So, you got 2 teammates all right there, and being split up a little bit by Ethan Flanagan, but I got a feeling Ethan's not going to be too keen on sitting right there for very long. I think he's just going to gather up some more momentum again and pop right back on out to that outside.
That's a 37 of Spires behind the 73 of Harmon. Look at the run Ricketts is getting in the one machine. He's sliding
on. That's an old Winn-Dixie throwback, too.
Mark. Is that who ran that? Winn-Dixie?
It's been so many years. Flanagan's number doesn't match, so I'm assuming on the track he's 57.
Yeah, on the track he's 57. I think
the purple machine.
35. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Richard, for joining us on Twitch. It was good to see you out there.
And we got so many fans. I'm just excited to talk to our fans. from other leagues too. They follow us everywhere we go. It seems like.
You know what?
Richard's one of those.
As we're riding around here with Jason Ricketts, man, there was something I was hearing that I was enjoying a lot. You could hear him come in and out of that throttle a lot. He was probably feathering that thing right around, 3/4, whatnot, just maintaining distance, keeping up just enough to stay in the draft here, but he's not pushing the issue. That is the sign of a man who's being patient and waiting for that, 2 or 3 laps to go before he makes a move.
And Jason's one of those guys who does a ton of official races. If you have ever looked in the lobbies of the official races, go look at the point standings. Jason Ricketts is always on the front page somewhere. It's usually near the top. The guy races a lot.
Man, that 31 of Alan Dixon, he's all alone. What is the loneliest number? And man, he had some numbers early on, but that has dissipated quite quickly here. And I think he's just waiting for the 2 of Blake Bingham there to get around. Oh, as everyone's scattering all around, going crazy up front.
Yeah, might as well. We're almost halfway through this joker.
Might have been a squirrel out there on the track or something. That
Alligator. Could have been.
Yeah, they're in Florida.
They got a lake in the middle of this place. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm surprised that Daytona doesn't put a golf course in there. Like, Indy has a golf course in the middle of it.
Yep.
That's a great idea. Let's take your $1 million idea and go down there with a business plan. You think they'd take us seriously?
No,
maybe
probably not.
A miniature golf course down there.
I'm sure, because Daytona having that road course and the 24-hour endurance race, I'm sure they've got like a pop-up one or something.
I mean, it's Florida. They got miniature golf, putt-putt, go-karts on every corner near the beach. I mean, you're going to have to do something more. Get the crowd in.
Here comes Spires out, looking at the outside line. Ricketts is behind him. Let's see if these guys can try to make a challenge. See if they get any help, any other takers for that outside line.
Just waiting to see if any of those guys right in front of them decides, maybe I'll pop up to kind of maybe help them out and lead this charge. And as of right now, no one's popping out there. As we now have 12 laps here to go in duel number 1.
Gary Sack still holding the lead out there. That 60 machine of Keelan's right behind him. All patiently staying in line for the most part.
Yeah, we really hadn't mentioned Sack enough. What a really clean run.
There goes Flanagan to the outside as the inside line gets a little squiggly there coming off of that corner. So Flanagan making use of that momentum. The outside was grabbing and hopping right out in front of that train.
Yeah, and they're still, haven't formed up enough to catch Gary Sack in the 89 car. He's having a great run, but looks like Ethan's got it figured out here.
The problem here is pushers. So the 37, I know Matthew Spires raced last season. I don't know how experienced he is as a pusher and staying close to the bumper. It looks like his line is not quite exactly matching up with Ethan Flanagan's, but we shall see here. He might, looks like he's starting to close in on him.
Just shaking the rust off.
Yeah.
It's been a while since they've been on a super speedway like this.
That is 100%.
Oh, Stack.
Oh, man.
Stack hung it out there, and the 60 checked up, and the 73 bumped him.
Yeah, that wasn't
40
pretty.
in effect.
So
Here comes Spires on the inside.
Yeah, so we got a whole field checkup there on that bottom line. That's going to give the 37 and the 57 chance to get out into the front. Oh, no, as Ricketts was blinking a little bit there, and Flanagan couldn't see him, so he started drifting down. But, Ricketts was sitting right there, so that's going to break those guys up even more.
73 is helicoptering.
Oh, terrible.
And that's going to bring out a yellow flag.
And I think that had to do with Ricketts. Man, that was a blink fest there and caused quite a bit of issue.
Because that big checkup, the 89 of Sack got down on that apron just a little too much in the turn, and the back end started coming around on it. Yeah, no fast repairs. 73 is going to be...
Looked like 73 had some issues blinking as well.
It kind of looks like that as well, as he ended up getting squeezed 3 wide a little bit there.
As he disappeared, so did the hole he was trying to hit. The car looks like it's done.
And it unfortunately does look like that for that 73 of Tim Harmon. But the good news is, not everybody showed up here for duel number 1, so even with him, finishing as of right now, dead last in this duel, he's still not going to be dead last come race week next week.
Nope, there'll be a few guys that end up behind him on that back row. I think was it 20 per race was supposed to come. So even if you finish 14th, you still got 6 cars going to be behind him on the inside line starting at Daytona next week.
Well, we hadn't seen anything super crazy here, but we did have a little wreck. I think we're going to see one more.
Joe Archer on YouTube saying, let's keep rocking it. He's pulling for the 89, the 37, and the 1. Team TMJ Motorsports. And Blake Flanagan pulling for Ethan out there saying, go E. The number 35/57. And
Yeah,
Cars for Life 9 says, heck yeah, Joe, you are right. Pulling for those TMJ Motorsports guys. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just saying I'm looking through the team list. There's a new team. Oh, they're all a couple coming down into the pits here. Super Serial Racing. They didn't even have a couple drivers show up. Hopefully a couple of them show up on duel number 2.
So these guys did have 65% fuel, which probably was still enough to make a whole run here, I think.
I don't know, but Davey Hendricks is in the pits getting his stuff squared away. I think that might have been a smart move by Davey.
Well, you also got to remember both Davey and Eric Warman, the 2 drivers that came down pit road. They were involved a little bit there with Tim Harmon, so they might have gotten a little nick or dent or something. And man, this is a track you do not want to have any aerodynamic drag or anything like that slowing you up. You want your car as streamlined as possible.
Very, very true. Looking at the replay, I kind of thought maybe Harmon kind of warped through him. You know how that can sometimes happen here on iRacing when you have a blinking car. But yeah, if they did get a little bit of damage, it's definitely worth getting out there and fixing as much of it as you can while we're under pacing.
I don't know. Davey's car looks pretty good. He may be sandbagging a little bit. We'll see what goes on with him. Yes. I wouldn't count him out. Let's put it that way.
So we're going to be going back to Green Flag Racing with 6 laps remaining. It's going to be Matthew Spires up at the front with Ethan Flanagan on that outside. Gary Sachs still staying right there up close to that front. He's going to be restarting here in 3rd with that one of Jason Ricketts in 4th. Alan Dixon and Alan Kewins, the 2 Allens, going to be starting side by side there in row number 3. You got Blake Bingham and Tony Fry sitting right there behind them, and then pulling up that trail end of the field, you'll have Davey Hendricks and Eric Warman.
Yeah, Harmon's still in there. They're doing the best they can with that machine, but he's going to be missing a lot of parts. But you never know. Something could happen to one of these guys, and they won't be able to repair it. And if Tim Harmon can get his required fixed, he may be able to go out there and pick up a spot or 2. Don't give up, buddy.
There's no giving up here. It's Daytona, man. You can do it. Miracles can happen.
Gary Sack going to be starting back on the inside line here behind the 37. And oh, look now, Alan Dixon, that Coke machine, going to be starting the 3rd car. He's having to check up a little bit because like Gary Sack, I don't know if he's shutting his motor off or what, but I don't think the 31 was ready for that.
No, well, so that's the other thing, too. There are green-white checkers here tonight. So they might be good on fuel if this thing goes green the entire way. Also, Sack was leading that pack quite a bit, so he was using a lot of fuel there.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be one of those things. If you don't want to come down pit lane and maybe give up some spots, you got to manage a whole lot more than just tires. You got to manage some fuel, and that's something you don't see a lot in a lot of these races is fuel management. But the pace car coming down pit lane, Matthew Spires and Ethan Flanagan getting this party started here again with 6 laps remaining. Green flag racing going back here in duel number 1. Side by side they go down into turn number 1, and man, that top line really not getting formed up whatsoever, but they are closing in ever so slowly.
Yeah, Ethan Flanagan really having to rely on that side draft to just kind of try to survive long enough to get some help up there. And Alan Dixon sliding up there in the 31.
Wasting no time there. He saw an opening. He wants to the front, so he's hopping on that train on the outside as they pick up momentum. Now having 3 cars all grouped up together here, so that's going to leave Gary Sack still sitting there right behind that 37 of Matthew Spires. But we know Ethan Flanagan, man, he can definitely push people to a win. We saw that last season. He pushed his teammate at that time of Isaac Wilson to a win in the first official race at Daytona last season.
And Slider Dixon up there trying to lead that upper line. They're hanging in there for now, but that lower line looks like they got a little bit closer, a little bit more organized at the moment.
They're lining up right here on the top line. And
ooh, as we're squiggling up at the front, that's going to make the 89 go below the yellow line here. The 31 is going to dive down into that inside line, kind of leaving Flanagan out to dry just a little bit. Oh, as the 37 drifts up the track just a little bit. Boy, was that close.
well, that wasn't a way to make
getting good.
You couldn't make friends doing that, but let's see if they can work together here.
And now with 4 laps remaining here, you got Matthew Spires and Alan Dixon side by side up at the front. As the 37 came down the track, and that's going to cause a big one here tonight.
31. He is not a happy camper.
37 went to the beach. Oh, Lord.
That's going to put...
He tore the fence up there, I think.
Put a lot of cars in a wrecked situation there. So let's go back and see exactly what happened. Let's go to the chopper cam, because I think that's going to be our best bet to see the entire show. Oh man, yeah, it's the 37 just wasn't quite clear, and the 31 bobbled up just a hair, and that caught the 37 into a wild ride. The 2 not being able to avoid it. The 6 tried to check up and avoid it, not able to do so.
Well, I look at it this way too. The 31 couldn't get any lower. He tried. And then when he kind of ran out of room right there at the yellow line, sometimes you get on the yellow line, you slide up just a touch, and basically there was no room there.
I'm going to put it all on the 37. I mean, he couldn't find where he wanted to be. I don't know if it was the draft, whatever. And it just, unfortunately, put it right in front of Dixon there, and Dixon had nowhere to go, and then it caused death and mayhem. That will be remembered.
Blake Flanagan on YouTube saying, keep up the pressure, Ethan.
Yeah, well, he's the one guy who made it out of that thing alive, pretty much, so.
Yep, he's going to be restarting in the first position here.
Ooh, man. If you guys ever wanted to know why we're thankful that this is a simulation, go for a ride here with us as we took a ride with that 37. And man, that is we all want to say, I'd love to jump in and race with these guys in real life until you go through a situation like that.
The words of Ricky Bobby. Yeah. I'm upside down. This ain't good.
I'm on fire. Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, he literally was flying. But look at Davey. Moved his way up to 4th through that mayhem.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about any fuel either. Start the second row on the outside behind Gary Sack. Let's see if they can work together once again.
Well,
Green white checker.
not only that, but if you go through and look at this field, I really only see 2 or 3 really clean cars out there. So we might see some interesting situations going on where a driver might be able to kind of drive away, especially looking at that 57 of Flanagan. You know, if Gary Sack's not able to hold the draft, that's going to hold people up like Alan Kewins, who's got a little bit of damage, Davey Hendricks, who's looking pretty clean right now. Tony Fry has a little bit of damage on that front end, and man, that back end of the 37 of Spires, I can't believe he's still out there driving right now.
Now, Kewins still has a little rear end damage from when he got rear-ended during that checkup earlier. Looks like the 89 of Sack, his right rear's caved in pretty good.
Byers is on the track. That's amazing.
He's on the apron right now. Looks like he's trying to come in.
I might be trying to get one more pit stop in here before going back to green flag racing and a green-white checker finish here for duel number 1. And you know,
so you just heard Ethan saying on the radio, "I'm going to take the outside," because this is the first time this season we have the choose rule for the first and second place cars this season. It's only for the leaders until they start implementing it in iRacing officially. So it looks like Flanagan chose to take the outside to have Davey Hendricks pushing.
man, you know what? Even if those two aren't teammates, that is a great call, because you know Davey will do anything to try to pick up a win for himself here tonight. And if that means he needs to push the heck out of that 35, or 57 in this case, to make his way up to the front to make a few extra positions, man, he will take it.
Yeah, he'll do whatever it takes.
That's the guy you want behind you until about lap 3, and he's going to go all out. Or not lap 3, but corner number 3. He'll do what he can to win.
Cars for Life 9 on YouTube saying, y'all ready for the ARCA Daytona race? I'm ready for any kind of race for Daytona. But yeah, ARCA Series will be racing there on Thursday.
Yeah, Midwest Days of Thunder Progressive League. We got ARCA trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So check them out, Midwest Days of Thunder.
Joe Archer saying, green, white, checker, just send it now. That's what you got to do. You got to leave it all out there. You want a good starting spot for Daytona next week.
He's in the second duel, so we'll see him soon.
Yeah, look forward to seeing Joe run after his big move and all.
As the pace car makes that dive down onto pit road, and it's green white checker time, which means it's time to buckle up, strap on that drinking helmet, and throw inhibition out the window. We are racing. The 57 and the 89 going side by side there across the line. And man, that 81 of Hendricks pushing with all his might, able to get that 57 out in front quite cleanly. I think that damage to Gary Sack might be affecting his speed quite a bit here. So you're going to see... you're going to see two cars running away with it here with Flanagan and Hendricks. Kewen trying to hang on to that draft as much as he can to finish up here in that top 3. But yeah, you can see there the 81, man, he is definitely pushing. That 57 is make our way down through turns 3 and 4. Going to be coming across the line here to take to this white flag. Almost a secondary chase pack, and you know what? They're still in it for a possible win as well if something happens coming to the line here between the 81 and the 57. The 60 of Kewen still trying to catch up, man. He has the draft. The question is he going to have enough of a suck up to catch up to these top 3? And it looks like he will. That gap is closing very slowly, though, as they go down this long back straightaway. Still nose to tail up here at the front, the 57 and the 81. Oh no, it's the 57 got caught in the bumper just a little bit there, so the 81's going to be taking the lead here, and Alan Kewins ended up getting body checked by that spinning Ethan Flanagan, so that's going to give Davey Hendricks kind of a drive away win here, and he's going to be starting pole here next week at the official Daytona race, with Alan Kewen starting right behind him in third. Gary Sack able to come across the line, man, as they had a crazy finish as they crossed that line.
Yeah, they did.
We're going to replay and go back, so Gary Sack will be starting there in fifth.
Man, Davey likes to win. That was a fun ending to that race, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you kind of knew when the two guys got out there and was kind of a runaway. You could kind of, in your mind, kind of play it out. I played out a couple of different ways I thought it was going to go. That was one of them.
Yeah, and Alan Kewen's, I mean, he almost got just waxed right out of the thing, but he held on and got that good second place.
Here, we'll kind of take a rewind here and take a look at kind of the move of the race here at the end. The 81. Oh, you know what? Man, that 57, as the 81 was looking to make a move on the outside, he started drifting up as well, and that's where those cars, for the first time since the restart, that their bumpers did not line up, and around he went.
When you move up and try to throw a block, sometimes that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what happened. He tried to throw a block, so it's all fair, man.
Ethan
Those
on
guys
the
are
radio.
both good racers.
Yeah, Ethan on the radio, no hard feelings. Congratulated Davey on the win, so no problems there, it doesn't look like.
And it does not look like it. So let's start off with a third place finisher here tonight, interview-wise. That's going to be the 89 of Gary Sack, who unfortunately looks like for that last restart there, Gary, just enough damage to kind of slow your car up just enough to stay out of it for possibly picking up a win, but still a hard fought third place finish here. So you're going to be starting in fifth here next week. How important was it for you to be able to start up towards the front for the official race next week?
I always like trying to start up in the front for these plate tracks, because like trying to be ahead of all the carnage and everything. But yeah, I was just gonna try to send it with the no front bumper.
We saw you lead a bunch of laps early and riding on that inside line. We saw you bobble the rear end. Was that because you got too much of that apron?
Oh yeah, I tapped the apron and got loose. Had to give something entertaining for the broadcast, because y'all were probably bored of that single file.
It was a lot of fun. Hey, you had a really great run. What are you looking forward to for the big one at Daytona?
Started up front, gonna send it. Hopefully, gonna try to see if I can pull out this win.
Awesome, man. Well, we're got to switch over to the other duel here in a second, so we wish you the best of luck next week and good luck for this season, buddy.
Thank you. You too.
And we'll quickly move on up to our second place finisher. That's going to be the 60 of Special K, Alan Kewins, being able to come away here with a P2 finish, second place, but that means you're also going to be starting right behind that race winner here when we come back for the official race next week. How important is it that you know that, A, you got someone really good up there in front of you that you can push all night long next week? But not only that, but up at the front, I think you're going to be clear of some of the craziness that goes on in the middle and towards the back.
Yeah, I think track position is going to be key next week. It's a little more important than it is at Talladega. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I just tried to keep my car clean most of the night and stay out of the accidents there.
Yeah, it looks like you're running pretty well with your teammate up there for a while before, unfortunately, he kind of helicoptered his way back to the back of the field. How important next week is the team aspect going to be? And are you going to be watching the second race to see if you got anybody that's going to be up there with you on your team?
Yeah, there's some on these races. The team aspect's huge. You can hook up, work together, and I'll be helping Greg and Kevin, new teammate, out tonight here in their race. So hopefully they can have a good finish as well. I don't think starting in the back is too big of an issue, but track position it's key.
You're a little banged up there, but you were making quite a run. Luckily, you held it as you kind of got body checked near at the end there. But good job, position 3. I would take it.
Yeah, I had a
2.
run. I kind of saved it there for that last lap and drafted off of both of them coming down the backstretch, and I was gonna have a good pull there coming out of 3 and 4, but they got together and Flanagan clipped my right rear a little bit and slowed me down.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry, 2, not 3. You earned that 2. Good job, man.
Yep.
All right. Well, Alan, good luck next week, and to you guys at that Angry Idiots, and for the entire upcoming season, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, and then we're going to go up to our race winner, which means he's going to be starting here on the pole next week at Daytona for the official start of this season. That's going to be that 81 of Davey Hendricks, who is definitely no stranger to that top dog spot. Man, Davey, it was definitely coming down to the wire. No, you and Ethan had a little racing deal going on there on that white flag lap, and that's just how racing goes sometimes. But able to pick up the win here tonight. How big is it going to be able to start up at the very, very front on pole and basically control this field from the get-go next week?
I mean, it sounds great on paper, but honestly, I'm not a fan of being up front. I don't know, something about being pushed, and people can hit me in the wrong spot at the wrong time, or hit me in the corner, and it can send me to a wall pretty quick. But if anything, I'm happy about the number 1 pit stall. That can be, like, coming down to a crunch. That can be a big deal. So I'm happy I at least got that going for me.
That's a great point. That's something we don't really think about a whole lot. So, talk choose rule. We did see somebody today. We saw Ethan choose the outside. If it does benefit you, come next week for the start of the race, you're going to choose the outside or on the start?
No, I think early on, I think I'm gonna try and stick to the bottom row as much as I can. I mean, like that's always my plan in super speedway races. Really, stick to that bottom lane. Preferably, I like to be at the back of the line in the lowest lane. So if something goes wrong, I can hit the brakes and turn left and kind of stay out of trouble. I mean, that's the only reason I missed that wreck we had in this race. Stuff happened. I hit the brakes. I turned left and went through the grass.
Giving yourself room to maneuver.
Yep.
You got the most room down there.
Yep, it's very unlikely. I mean, if I'm at the end of the line, no one's going to run me over, which is always a huge worry. And then if I can just turn left and go all the way down to the inside wall, I should have plenty of room. So I mean, I'll try my best to at least stick on that inside line until the end of the race.
Yeah, well, it was a fun battle at the end there. I think we saw it looked like a block, and you did what you could. It was a racing incident, but you took first place. No surprise. Congratulations, man. We'll see you next week.
Cool. Thank you.
And that does it for duel number 1. Let's go through here just really, really quick. The official rundown. This will be your starting inside line for the official race here next week. That's going to be led off by Davey Hendricks. Then you got Alan Kewins, the 89 of Gary Sack, followed by that 6 of Tony Fry. You have that 113 of Eric Warman, who unfortunately just kind of got tangled up in some of those wrecks here tonight. Then you got Blake Bingham. You also got Ethan Flanagan. He's going to be kind of starting in the middle of the field there, so look forward for him to maybe make up some ground there early on in that race. 31 of Alan Dixon, and then Jason Ricketts, followed by Matthew Spires. And then as far as we know as of right now, but I'm sure more people will be joining there late, the 73 of Tim Harmon is going to be at that tail end of the field. So we're going to take a quick break, quick intermission as we switch sessions here and jump on over to duel number 2. So definitely stick around, have a chat, kind of discuss amongst yourselves how you think this next one's going to be going, and we'll be right back with you shortly.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best, you can forget the rest. The greatest show on the internet, the Midwest Days of Thunder. MDOT is a progression-style league. Start off your career in ARCA and work your way all the way up to the Cup Series. MDOT proudly features professional broadcasts, dedicated race control, and admins for each series.
I'm dropping the hammer.
No, you're not.
Are you ready to drop the hammer? MDOT offers some of the best competition iRacing has to offer.
I've got a question. What is the one thing you absolutely need to do to win a race?
That's pretty damn
You
obvious.
keep quiet. You need to finish the race.
Recently added, the MDOT Dirt Series. Come sling dirt with some of the best.
There's the slider! Like Cup City for the Kiwi down in turn 2.
For more information and to sign up, visit us on Facebook at Midwest Days of Thunder.
Sun has blazed my shoulders, it's hanging my shadow from the vagaries of my past. It's a story that's so familiar to anyone who's seen and done the same. So I'll explain.
load it up again. There we go. And welcome back, everybody, here to Duel number 2. I told you we'd be back. I hope y'all didn't worry that we'd forgotten about you, but that was definitely not the case, as we got a nice full field of 15 drivers here ready to take to this second duel, and we're going to have a totally new lineup here. As it looks like everybody just kind of hanging out in the pits. They officially put out the 5-minute call just a few minutes ago, so they're going to be advancing this session to get this one started here in just a moment. But just quick recapping of the race that we just saw, man. It had the little bit of everything. We had single file race in there for a moment. We had, two wide for a good chunk of that race. We had a green-white checker finish. Man, it gets only goes up from here.
We had a little bit of everything, and not quite enough time to get a nap during the intermission, which maybe we can talk to management about that. I'm pretty sure somewhere in our contract it says something about, duels, you have to leave room for a nap in between, or enough time for a nap in between. But anyway, Isaac Wilson telling us that duel number 2 is going to be stacked. We're going to have a bunch of good drivers out there. Thank you, Alabama Old Man, for joining us over here from Numb Thumbs gaming community over there. Go check those guys out. They do all kinds of sims, and they have a lot of fun over there. Blake Flanagan saying, love the commentary, guys. Y'all do a great job. We really do appreciate it. We try to do the best we can for you guys week in and week out, and bring some great racing to y'all. But the guys that bring you the great racing are really the drivers out there, and that first duel didn't disappoint, and the second one's just going to be just as fun, I think.
Yeah, I took a nap. I mean, literally watched the football game, Georgia versus Alabama. Boy, that's a nap. Well, I'll catch you into that thing after this. This is way more exciting at the moment. So, looking forward to Duel 2. Brown, I know you are. Beers are now flowing down here on pit road. Everything's back to normal.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful place to be, Daytona, Midwest Days of Thunder. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, that it will be, as our drivers are starting to grid up here. So let's go ahead and run through the drivers that are racing here in race number 2, and going to be kind of starting out where they're going to be starting. So Wade Brooks has that pole position spot for right now. He's going to be starting in first. The 91 of Tom Girth is going to be starting here in second, with the 93 of Isaac Wilson going to be starting inside row position number 2 there in third. Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle in that 80 car is going to be starting here in fourth. The 92 of Greg Klein is going to be starting on there on the inside, with teammate Kevin Biggs right beside him on that outside. Those guys are 5th and 6th. You got Skylar Carnes going to be starting here in 7th, with Dusty Applin in that 8 starting in 8th. You got Andrew Kobe in that 11 car going to be starting here in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 for this start here tonight in duel number 2 is going to be Grandpa Bill Giberson.
My scoring deal is messed up. Can you help me out there, Adam?
I got you, man. That's no
Thanks,
problem.
man.
Yeah, 51 of Ken Olsen, 11th. 96, former Angry Idiot. Now he's a member of the something or another Super Serial Racing Team. And you have Joe Archer at 13th. The 42 of Angel Hernandez, we're going to watch him move his way to the front. You watch that. He's in 14th. And number 6 of Rob Nickel, rounding it out. Pretty good field here.
That it is, but you're missing a title there for Mr. Angel Hernandez, and that is current season champion here in the Xfinity Series, Angel Hernandez, as he ended up picking up that season champion title at the end of last season. So he's going to have a massive target sitting there on his back here tonight.
Well, I didn't see him with his big championship belt on when he got in his car, so.
Hey, it's Xfinity. It might have been like a watch or a ring or something,
Well, I'm going to watch him work his way to the front. That's what I think I'm going to watch him do. Heck of a driver. Good to see him out there again.
Cool.
And TMJ Motorsports. That's who he's with. Joe Archer is his teammate here, so we'll see if they can work together and get up front.
I finally got my technical issues figured out, so I'm finally back with you guys so I can see what you're seeing. Looks like pace car's off.
That it is. So welcome back, Mr. English. Glad you can join us just in time here for Wade Brooks and Tom Girth to take to this green flag here, getting duel number 2 underway here, side by side racing as they go up and into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like Wade Brooks still doing a great job leading that inside line. You got the 93 of Isaac Wilson kind of helping to push him as we're almost 3 wide back here in the middle. You got that 91, you got the 80, you got the 8, all kind of scattering around. Looks like the 91 really doesn't want to be up towards the front, maybe trying to just drift back. Oh, as the 47 gets nudged out of line.
Woo, a lot of action going on already.
A little early, but
On the apron.
I'll take it. 91 spam car worked his way to the back. He'll be okay back there. He must not have liked it out front.
Yeah, that's the 47 of Skylar Carnes getting shoved below that yellow line and kind of getting stuck down there, but that's going to allow out of all that craziness. The 80 of Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle with a big push from the 18 of Kevin Biggs. He ended up taking the lead as they crossed the line that time by, but he is still currently leading the charge on that outside, with Wade Brooks leading the charge on that inside line.
Oh, Grandpa Bill made up a few spots right there. He's currently the third car on that outside line. Well, now the second car as Pete Van Sprundle moves down and back up.
As the 18 of Biggs tries to squeeze on in there as well, and he just barely manages to fit. But that also maybe made Pete Van Sprundle freak out a little bit, so he ended up switching back up to that high lane. So everybody dodging and weaving, trying to find that line that's going to give them the best track position here as they try to tick laps away.
Well, they're trying to leave. Yeah, they're trying to leave him behind, aren't they?
85 was putting a little side draft on the 92, trying to help out until the 8 could get back up there. Dusty Alpin in the 8 machine.
Yeah,
trying to get up there and push.
They're trying to leave old Grandpa Bill back there, but it looks like he's working his way up front now.
See what? Watch old Biggs, man. Let's see what he does up here. Looks like he's sticking with that inside line. He's got a good pusher right now, Wade Brooks.
And so that's going to leave the 85 leading that charge on the outside. They did manage to get enough of a run to kind of even things back up. And I mean, you can kind of look at the car count in each lane. It's basically dead on even. Now, in these Xfinity cars, it's not quite like the trucks where, you know, just a couple of trucks on that outside line can really make things happen. You need a lot of cars on that outside to really get something moving.
Yeah, the more the better. You can't really tandem around here too good. In dirty air right here, you definitely want a bunch of cars in a line. It's like the outside line's pretty organized right now. He's got Greg Klein up there behind Andrew Coe.
Yeah, it's a little different from the last duel. Lots of organization up top so far, early. Yep. But
a lot more too wide.
Yeah, a lot more too wide. And the last one was fun, so I think we're going to even see some more fun here with these guys.
I think you're also seeing a little bit more aggressiveness and sense of urgency early in this one, as you've seen people kind of duck and dodge and dive and kind of figure their way through this field. As man, that 18 and the 85 still side by side, really no line really getting the better of each other just yet. But man, you say it, that outside is just a little bit better form. You can see on that inside line there's just little gaps here and there that you know, it's going to cost them, you know, 1 or maybe 2 miles an hour, and that's going to cost them in the end.
Nice little bump and push by Wade Brooks on Biggs on the inside, but then they got a little separation between them, and now here comes Grandpa Bill in the 8 machine running the outside, able to get a little ground. That momentum will run out here in just a second. Dustin Reilly's joining us on YouTube from over there at Vigilante Racing. Thanks for joining us over here, Dustin. Eric Warman saying there's some fruity drivers on the track tonight. And Nickel Motorsports saying, good luck, Nickel. Some folks watching online tonight on YouTube. to Twitch.
Yeah, and I think they were correct in talking earlier. This is stacked front to back here in this duel. Look at Grandpa Bill.
Making the dive down onto that bottom line, so that's going to leave the 8 of Dusty Applin out there to lead that charge on the outside. And man, Grandpa Bill making the moves to try to finish up towards the front here tonight.
Yeah, real name
Don't break your hip up there.
Stephen Davis is having a heck of a run, but he didn't leave him by himself. There's a great line up there on the upper line. They're going to be fine without him. They'll probably catch him here with Cobe. And
oh no! As Grandpa Bill going down below the yellow, so he's going to let the try to let the field go by here and kind of pick it up at the end. He manages to find a spot kind of towards the end, but right there in the middle. The question is he still close enough to hold on to the draft? Well, with the help of the 93 diving down to that bottom line, that is going to help him. You can also see, I believe that was a 22 of Joe Archer maybe thinking about diving down to that inside line, but he's deciding to stick with it on that outside.
What happened with the 85 there? Did he forget to take his nitroglycerin pill or something, the old man? And
I think he's trying to get with his teammate, Tom Gert.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he's trying to do. Teammates mean everything in a track like this.
Thanks, Derek Schimmel, for joining us on Facebook after your race, bud. Saying Super Serial Racing for the win. So, Super Serial. Oh, 56 in the grass.
That's Joe Archer there. He's might have gotten shuffled around a little bit there because as that kind of entire middle of the field kind of breaks apart, and we're still racing here. No cautions yet in duel number 2. You got the 8 of Dusty Applin on the outside. You got the 18 of Kevin Biggs on the inside. There are teammates there around each other. The problem is they're just not in the right lanes.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. I thought Derek was in the last race. Derek's not in the last race. He's in this race. He's one of those guys out there trying to run and get a great goal. At the 54, Wade Brooks is around.
Wow.
Man, that almost looked like it was net code there.
No caution.
No caution, single car spin.
Led down the track, didn't he?
You know what? We're going to take a quick break from the action and just
the 11. Sorry.
Take another look at it, see exactly what happened. Oh, man, getting all wiggly and jiggly, ended up coming up into that outside line, and thankfully he's the only car involved, and even still, he didn't hit anything. So he can, once when a caution comes out, because I got a feeling we will see one, he'll be able to catch back up to the field, no problem.
He's got 4 flat-spotted tires out there right now. He didn't hit anything. He was able to get that thing shut down before he hit the inside wall. That's that part of the inside wall that juts out, too, so...
Ooh, as the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle saying, hey, Dusty, this is how we do it here in Xfinity, and gives him a little door check.
He's learning the hard way now.
Oh, Derek Schimmel's, he's kind of camouflaged out there in the 96 post-Flintstones machine. We didn't recognize you out there, Derek.
You know what
Super
gave it away
Serial
for me?
Racing.
The big 96 on the door and the roof gave it away for me.
Well, I haven't heard any screaming from him on the radio, so I didn't know he was out there.
He's been pretty quiet out there on the station right now.
And man, you called it there, Mr. Turner. That 42 of Angel Hernandez sitting there on that bottom line. He's now up into third. Man, as that bottom line continues to freight train that top line as they continue to fall apart.
I mean, you don't have to be Nostradamus to figure out that 42 is going to be up there.
Oh, give me some credit. God, you're... Wow.
I just
look at the top line. They aren't as organized as they were before, but Greg Klein's trying to lead the way, and that'd be the guy you want in front there to lead the way. Yeah, he dipped back down. Never mind.
Well, because he realized they weren't grouped back up, and they were losing momentum, foot by foot there. So jumping back down to that bottom line, he's going to be able to get in the draft, gather up the momentum, and I'm sure we'll see a second pack form up here, within the next couple laps, as we're got 14 laps to go as of right now, with Kevin Biggs leading this entire snaking field with Pete Van Sprundle right behind him.
Joe Archer just set the fastest lap of the race at 47.48. able to sniff up that draft and get a real good time in that 56 machine.
I'm still mad that you called me Nostradamus. But I like it. The anger and hate will start now between the broadcasters and the drivers. That's a fun race. A fun league. Midwest Days of Thunder. These guys are putting it out there tonight.
Check out the 92 get some help from his former teammate in the 96. The 96 said, as soon as the 92 dove out there, the 96 said, man, I'll go with you. Here they go. They're hauling butt up there.
Man, they are definitely making that move, especially as they went into that corner. They still have the momentum into that corner. Normally we see that outside line, maybe kind of lose some of that momentum as they enter the corners. But no, that time they were able to hang on out in front, and that's going to allow Greg Klein to get up with his teammate, the 18 here, on that outside line. So you got two angry idiots nose to tail here up at the front. You also got Pete Van Sprundle and Angel Hernandez on that bottom line nose to tail, but I do not believe those guys are on the same team.
So here's the great thing about having the teammates in a radio chat channel. I'm sure the 92 and the 96 were, when they're flying up like that, I'm sure they were telling Biggs, hey man, get ready to move up. We're on the outside line and we're flying.
Yeah, and it almost looked like a block, but once you realize the teammate situation.
Yep. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. Now they're holding their line really well. They're not quite getting too much momentum against sneaky Pete Van Sprundle, but we'll see what happens here in this lap.
18 trying to throw a little bit of a side draft down there on the 80 Rainbow machine down there on the inside line, but it's not quite enough yet.
Oh, as the 80 trying to maybe throw the parachute out a little bit there, drift up the track. That's going to disturb that side draft that they're trying to put on and make them lose that momentum. But man, that 92 is all over that back bumper of the 18, but the same can be said about that 42 on that 80.
And good pushers in the second row on the top and the bottom right now, and good support behind them. So this ain't over.
I just see disaster and hatred coming soon. It's quite a race. I mean, they are getting after it early.
So we find ourselves now with 10 laps remaining here in duel number 2. We've got some people still trying to, figure their way to get back up to that front. You had that 8 of Dusty Applin kind of get shuffled back. You had the 51 of Ken Olson, who's been hanging around right around that 11th and 10th spot just about all race long. He's been very patient, waiting for the right time to make a move. Saw that 11 of Andrew Cobb. He was up, and now he's kind of back down for just a moment. Same thing with the 93 of Isaac Wilson. He was up there towards the front for a moment and then started drifting back. So got a lot of people making some kind of strategic moves here to begin with. But we kind of saw it in the other race there. You got to start wondering here for Kevin Biggs and Pete Van Sprundle. The more these two guys lead this charge on these two lines, man, it's going to start putting that fuel window into question.
Yeah, in the words of one of our former presidents, there's a lot of strategery going on out there.
Yeah,
I mean, there really is. And, you think about NASCAR, you turn left, you turn left, you turn left. No, there's a lot more involved. There's a lot of thinking involved in this, believe it or not. People actually have brains, and they're using them out here on the track tonight. It's actually pretty fun to watch.
It's funny you bring that up. I was watching Talladega Nights the other day. You know how they were joking about the Frenchman had the NASA scientist on his team. Wood Brothers did that a couple years ago. Wood Brothers hired a NASA engineer and put on their crew. Was one of their data people was a former NASA engineer. So it started out as satire and kind of funny, but it's really kind of come full circle. It's come to fruition, I should say, that putting scientists and stuff on these teams, because let's face it, there's a lot of money involved in this, and they can afford to do it. It's not Formula One level yet, but there's a lot of money out there on the track.
As we continue to tick laps away here, let's jump into a guy that we haven't really talked about much yet today. That's that 6 of Rob Nickel, doing a pretty good job on there on that outside line, right there on the tail of the 96 of Derek Schimmel. And you can just see these guys. They're trying to inch their way down and get ever closer and closer to get as much of that side draft as they can. And that's definitely causing a little bit of wiggleness up there.
Yeah, he's got a windshield full right now.
So what you're saying, English, is let's just follow the science. Just follow the science. Let's get this thing done. Follow the science. It looks like they're coming up on a lap car. What would the science do here?
If I'm a lap car, and I see this giant group of really fast people behind me, I'm getting down to the edge.
Oh, as the 18 of Biggs is clear of that 80 of Pete Van Sprundle, is he going to dive down and maybe try to check up that bottom line as they come up to that 54 of Wade Brooks? It's going to be tight, 3 wide, the 54 up into the wall, trying to stay out of the way, and everybody is able to get around.
Great job by the 54 of holding it up there, staying out of danger. You know, it's his prerogative. He can race these leaders. He does not have to let these leaders by. But man, when these guys were in the traffic, he was by himself. He made the right call there.
He did a great job there.
Yep.
Great job. We've all been there. If we've done iRacing simulation on a game, they do a great job. But it is super scary seeing a freight train of cars coming down at 200 miles an hour. So good job by him.
The other interesting to watch there as they were coming up to it was that 18 of Biggs not jumping down to that bottom line, deciding to stay up high with his teammate there right behind him. He was like really clear, not like maybe you're clear, maybe you're not, just send it down there. We call that being Jimmy clear. In that case, he was he was clear, but no, he decided to stay up. And rather than, because if he's on that bottom line, he would control that entire bottom line. He could get that 92 basically back up, so they're side by side.
Well, the patience is about to wear off here because we're about 5 laps to go, so expect mayhem.
The 96 and the 85 are side by side. Maybe look for these guys to try to get together. Looks like it's not going to happen here on this lap or maybe the next lap. Whoa! The 92 got a little sideways on the 18 of Biggs. Big checkup, big wreck.
Big checkup, and we got a big wreck.
Just a little bit of sideways contact between teammates. And we got our first yellow.
It's going to be our first yellow, which means we're going to be getting our green-white checker finish here tonight.
I guess I gave it the old broadcaster curse on that one. But you could feel it. You could feel it building and building. And I don't know if there was anybody technically at fault there, but that was a pretty good wreck.
It's almost like White Rabbit, building up and building up all the way to the top.
We got to rewind this one all the way back quite a ways to see the full-on of what happened there. As you can see, the two lines all formed up, and the 92 was just not quite centered on that 18's back bumper, sent it 3 wide, and still trying to get it under control. Ended up coming down into that bottom line, or into that middle line.
To the 96's credit, he tried to take advantage of the situation there because he knew that the 92 was out of shape and lost a bunch of momentum. So the 92 went low, or the 96 went low and tried to take that position. And it looked like the 92 and the 96 just got together. Didn't really know where each other was at there. Racing incident.
And just like the last race, I think we're only going to see really 3 cars up here at the front that don't have any damage. That's going to be Pete Van Sprundle, Kevin Biggs, and Rob Nickel, as I think the 42, the 93, the 91, everybody getting all involved, and it looks like maybe the 92's night might be done there.
Yeah, that's not a fun way to end it, but, this is just kind of for fun. Setting the outside line at Daytona next week. Maybe setting the stage for a little bit of hate and anger and fun and mayhem and fights. All the kind of fun stuff that we love to see. Or I do. I don't know about y'all, but...
this is definitely not the end. We have in our back pocket another green-white checker attempt in case we get a caution before these guys take the white flag on this next restart.
Well, this is definitely more exciting than the college football national championship joke that's on television. It's a field goal fest down there wherever they're playing the damn game.
I don't even know
who really cares.
playing. Who's playing?
Nobody cares anymore. Doesn't matter.
I saw
Alabama
LSU in the Who Gives a Crap Bowl. And,
yeah.
Oh, it's Bama and somebody? I'm not watching.
Bama and Georgia.
Hopefully Georgia.
Not interested.
Sorry.
You know, you get kind of like COVID fatigue, like I have here with the COVID queen. I'm Alabama fatigue. Sorry, Alabama fan. I don't know if that's your team, but I'm tired of them.
Well, if you were to Google the acronym for College Football National Championship, so that would be CFNC, you get the College Foundation of North Carolina.
And that's just kind of mind-blowing right there.
I'm still bitter about Bama. I'm still bitter that Saban left us to go to Bama.
Oh, he treated you like a punk. He said, no, I'll go to Miami and just hang out here, ruin the Dolphins for like 2 years. Then I'll go to Alabama and win 50 national championships
50?
And make a mockery of the college football system. That's what he's done. He's made a mockery of the whole thing. I mean, how much money is actually in Alabama? What in the hell they got going on down there?
I know what you're trying to do to me. You're trying to make me go insane. Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, the good thing is, it looks like Wade Brooks got his lap back, so he'll be back up there trying to.
I'll tell you what. Look out for Thomas Girth in the 91 Spam car. His car looks pretty clean, Brown. I don't know if you can take a look at it, but it looks clean to me.
The 91?
Missing a hood and a front end.
It's
the back end of it.
The back end looks good.
Yeah, you don't need the front end. You just suck right up to the. Yeah, see, I don't have all the angles. That's why you're the detail guy.
Man, that's what happens when you come up to, you're like, man, that's a really nice looking car as you're coming up to it, passing it on the freeway, and then you start to pass it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it looks like I'm in Matamoros. Never mind, Girth, you're screwed. He's done for the night.
I love Spam, though.
No, Spam is really good. I was hoping he was going to get up there with that car, but...
But you know what? You never know. iRacing can do kind of funny things with some of these damage models and whatnot. As far as we know, that 91, he could be driving his way up here to the front as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here with a green-white checker finish for duel number 2. It's going to be the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle. Sneaky Pete not being sneaky here tonight, being up front all night long. And that means for the second time tonight, we get to buckle up, strap on our drinking helmets, and throw inhibition out that window because we are going racing here side by side as they come across the line in 2 lines, all stacked up, heading off down across the line and into turns 1 and 2. The 18 of Biggs doing a great job there to keep an even restart there. He's getting some help there from the 42 of Angel Hernandez, but you got Rob Nickel there trying to help out that 80 of Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle.
I think Joe Archer's spotter told him, you're going to be at full speed, Cole, because he came up through that field like he had an extra run of speed. Now he's the 3rd car on the outside line.
Yeah, and unlike Girth, he actually has a clean car.
As they go through turns 3 and 4, going to be coming across the line to take this white flag in just a minute here. And when they do, that means no more yellows. This race will end. And almost didn't make it, but they did. So we're going to have this final lap to decide the finishing order here tonight in the starting grid for that outside. Man, as Pete Van Sprundle continues to use that body check against the 18. The 18 trying to body check his way back down as well. Still side by side, beating and banging down this front straightaway all the way down as the 6 gets involved, spins the 18 down into the 80. So that's going to leave Rob Nickel out there at the front. He said, you guys are fooling around too much. I'm just going to take this one. Well, right behind him, he's got that 42 of Angel Hernandez all up in that draft. Does he have enough to pick up a run here to try to make a pass here as they come across the line? It does not appear to be, as he looks to the outside. Rob Nickel wins here in duel number 2, followed by Angel Hernandez and Ken Olsen.
Who says a car with a bunch of damage can't finish well?
That's what I...
Ken
Yeah.
Olsen in 3rd.
Mayhem and death. The
And Wade
Jesus
Brooks
machine
in 4th.
made it with no hood, nothing. Oh, that was awesome, man. Kind of like the last one, but a little different. I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking forward to this season.
Just a little contact between the 6 and the 18. Looked like is what got that little scrum started. And Van Sprundle in the 80, really the guy impacted the most by that, as he's gonna drop all the way back, finishing 10th.
Well, I don't know if he's going to like it. That guy's from Long Island. He's not going to be happy.
As we watch that replay, oh yeah, that 6 just drifting up as the 18 was trying to side draft as much as he could, catches that quarter panel, which ends up actually catching both the 80 and the 18, sending Joe Archer and a whole bunch of others who got collected in that all the way around. And just that loss of momentum there, even though Kevin Biggs was able to drive out of it somehow. Great save from Kevin Biggs.
Hernandez and Archer with some post-race extracurricular activities out there on the track.
Oh, perfect. Let's set this up for next week. I know Rob Nickel probably didn't make any friends here, but he got the victory, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Up
did.
14 spots.
Nickel Motorsports Race Team on YouTube saying, OMG, yeah, Nickel. Your guy got it done tonight.
He got it done in the duels, but now he's got a target on him.
Oh, yeah. Next week's going to be rough for a few guys, I think.
I think you're right. These boys were fighting right here on this duel number 2.
Man, you weren't kidding. I mean, we saw Sneaky Pete there. He was having some fun. I believe that was the 8 of Dusty Applin. Definitely using as much of that body panels he has on that car to kind of beat and bang his way down. And man, that is what you would call a fantastic hockey game right there. You know, in hockey, if you see a nice physical slobber knocker of a event, man, it just feels good to watch, and that is what we had here today. As looks like we got some people ready to get some interviews underway, so let's start off with the current season champion. That's that 42 of Angel Hernandez. Not quite able to get the run there, as there was that final lap wreck that we're typical of seeing here at Daytona. But still, you're going to be starting on that second row here next week. First off, congrats on the P2 here tonight, Angel. But not only that, you're going to be in a pretty good spot to start the season off here.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got that second. Obviously, that last lap there, there was a wreck I barely missed there. Well, I just got caught up in, and I absolutely take that P2, because even then I had damage, so it was kind of hard to even stay up there with them and try and push.
We saw a little bit of post-race activity between you and the car of Joe Archer. Was that just a little bit of having fun, or was that a little bit of frustration?
No, we were just messing around.
Okay. We're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh, they were just having fun. Hey, congrats. You're set up for next week. You have any tricks in the bag for next week? I know you're a champion, so I look for you to doing real well next week. But anything you're looking forward to specifically?
It's another plate race. I like them, even though typically I don't. Well, actually, I kind of do to go to them, like, not by my doing, but overall I like it. So I'm just gonna try and enjoy the next race here at Daytona.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the P2 here tonight, and good luck on the upcoming season, buddy. Season champion currently sitting there, and you got a target on your back.
Yep, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We'll move right on up to our race winner here. That's going to be Mr. Rob Nickel in that 6 truck, man. Talk about a beaten, banging final lap. Just getting together there with the 18. But, hey, you're able to drive away from it A-OK and pick up the win here, which means you're on that front row to start off next week's official race, man. Talk about how exciting this duel was, because this duel, man, was action-packed. But you're going to be able to start in one of the best spots, if not the best spot here coming up next week.
Yeah, very, very exciting race. Tried to stay at the back for a lot of it. And then, I don't know if it's the best spot. I mean, big Daytona race, so you don't know how many wrecks are going to be.
You kind of got to feel your way through it, and you've got some great support on YouTube. Your race team was watching you on YouTube tonight, pulling for you, giving you some positive vibes. As far as starting on the outside line, we talked to Davey a little bit about this. There's choose rule is in effect for the lead row this season. It looks like you're probably going to be starting on the outside. I don't think Davey's going to move to the outside for the first restart. Do you really put much stock in that? Because, I mean, it's just the start of the race. It's not really a big deal where you start because the race is so long. And like you mentioned, you don't know how many cautions that are going to happen, but are you going to try to stay in front as long as you can to maybe avoid some contact?
Yeah, I think that's probably the plan.
Well, whatever the plan was tonight, man, it was awesome. You won this thing, and looking forward to next week. You got any shout-outs or anything you want to tell anybody thank you for?
Yeah, I want to thank my parents for, kind of sitting at the couch every week, just watching the race. Big support for me. Had one of my teachers from school, they were watching. So I want to thank you, Miss Jones, for watching. And just to my team, that's everyone. My biggest supporter is my team. So I want to thank Isaac Wilson and Speed Demon Motorsports for always, picking me up.
Well, we sure enjoyed watching that number 6 Ford, Menards Ford Mustang out there running great laps today. Good luck to you next week at Daytona.
Thank you.
All right, and with that brings these duels to an end here on this Monday night. So the field is set for next week at the official start of the season. Let's go ahead and do the official race results here. So this is going to be your starting outside grid for that official race coming up here next week for that start of the season. That's going to be led off by Rob Nickel in that 6, right up there at the front. You also got Angel Hernandez pulling up right behind them. So, former season champ, he knows how to get it done. So definitely look for a great race from him. You also had that 51 of Ken Olsen, even with some damage sticking with it and able to walk away here with a 3rd. So he's going to be starting in 6 on that outside. You got Wade Brooks starting behind him. The 18 of Kevin Biggs, man, he had a great save there at the end, just not enough to kind of makes up some ground. So he's going to be starting a little bit towards that middle on the outside. Same thing with Grandpa Bill Giberson. He's going to be starting on that outside in that middle kind of area there as well. The 11 of Andrew Cope had a pretty solid race, just kind of getting tied up in some of those wrecks there. Same thing with that 96 of Derek Schimmel with that new team of Super Serial Racing. He's looking to make a name for that team starting next week as well. You had that 22 of Joe Archer try to make up some ground there late, just not quite getting the luck he needed. Same thing with the 80 of Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle, not being sneaky here tonight. Pretty much up front all race along, doing a pretty good job. So look for him to make some noise this season. Same thing with that 91 of Tom Girth. He's going to finish here 11th, which means he's starting kind of towards the back next week. Same thing with the 93 of Isaac Wilson. He's going to be kind of towards the back there, which, if I remember right, his teammate of Ethan Flanagan is going to be kind of right around there as well. So those two are pretty good to maybe jump right back together. You also had that 8 of Dusty Applin. He's going to be starting towards the back next week. Same thing with the 92 of Greg Klein. So to look for Greg Klein to maybe make a move later on in the race. And that's going to be finished off by Skylar Carnes there in that 47. He's going to be pulling up that tail end of the field.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Dusty Applin for, I messed his name up earlier. I said Dusty Alpin or something. Reading is hard, man. Reading is really, really hard. So sorry I messed your name up, buddy.
Yeah,
it happens. You're from Louisiana. It's okay.
You are not kidding. But that brings tonight's stream to an end. We thank you all for tuning in and watching. You guys are the reason why we do this, is to hang out, watch some racing, and just have a great time with each other. We also got to thank Midwest Days of Thunder for having themselves another great race, and looking forward to a great season with them here in the Xfinity Series. As well as, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know. I'll remember it for Friday and make sure to give them a shout out. But until Friday, we got a couple races coming up here on M.TV. We got the HCK Beagles as they head to, I believe they're headed to Talladega tomorrow night for right around 70 laps of racing action there. And then on Wednesday night, you've got kind of another doubleheader. You got the last chance qualifier for the Vigilante Racing League, as well as the All-Star race happening right there in the same night. And man, just looking at how they've got that race all set up, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. I'm signing off.
We gone.
See ya.
Walk